Hello, welcome back to Data Leaps. In today's video, we're going to go through how to set career goals for a data professional. In the last video, we went through the possible next roles for a solution architect, and that mapping applies to data professionals like the engineers and data scientists as well. And in today's video, we're going to talk about through all of these different roles, which one you should go for as per your particular circumstances. Now, I've seen this happening with a lot of my friends, coworkers, mentees, that they go through their career taking the next job available that pays 20K more, 30K more, 15K more, or give them the next level job title going from junior to senior to manager to director. You can do that. That's absolutely fine. I've seen also people who don't have a consistent criteria. So today they go for a job because it pays 40K more, then they go for the next job because that gives them a manager job title, then they go for the next job because that gives them the work-life balance. The next job, they go for a different criteria, and they end up going like around the loop quite a bit instead of going consistently towards the same direction. So if we were to illustrate this, it looks something like this. You go for a job that pays you more, and then you go for a different job that pays you a little bit more, but give you a better job title. And then you might take a different route because it gives you better work-life balance. You have more time to look after your career, and then you take a different job because it might give you the opportunity to move to a location that you want to move to, and you keep doing this throughout your career. And you end up having this spider web of career path that you go from places to places, which is fine if you didn't feel very strongly about there's something you should do. Right? If you feel very strongly about there's something you should be doing, like staying in a corporate job and hit that snooze button and jumping from job to job is not really doing you any favors. Ideally, what you should be doing is to figure out the North Star. This is what your career goal is, what your North Star is. At the end of the career, that's where you want to get to. And then you want to, from where you are to where your career goal is, figure out what are the gaps, what are the missing skill sets or the knowledge that you have. And then for each step you are to take, bridge these gaps, bridge these either knowledge or skill gap, and then in however many jobs it takes, you get to where you want to get to with your career. And that's what we're trying to figure out today, is what is the North Star of your career? I have to make a disclaimer. I did not make up this framework. I've read about this framework elsewhere, and I think that resonated with me really well. To decide my career, work it backwards from where I want my career to be and how I should think about take the next jobs. So you can use framework like this to decide what your North Star is. If there's a different framework you prefer to use to decide what your career goal is, that's perfectly fine. Just think about what your long-term goal is, where you want your career to be in 5, 10, 15 years time, instead of just taking the next available job. So the framework I've been using is basically 4 quadrant, and you want to figure out the intersection between these 4 quadrant by answering 4 different questions. The first question you want to answer is, what am I good at? This is an easy enough of a question. Like, I am Chinese, so I'm stereotypically very good at mathematics. I'm quite good at solving problems. I'm quite good at unpacking a question and designing a solution. And so you know what type of compliments you've been getting, you know what kind of feedback you've been getting from your work and from your professional life, so you know what you're good at. The next question is what you are passionate about. So what are you passionate about is, to me, is two questions technically, and you can answer this question one of the two ways, really. One is, what do I enjoy doing, right? Like, I'm really good at playing video games. Doesn't mean I enjoy being a Twitch streamer. I'm really good at mathematics. Doesn't mean I enjoy being a math teacher. So what am I passionate about is what am I enjoying in doing it? And the second layer of the question is, what are you passionate about in solving the problem? Essentially, this is about the process and not the outcome. I am passionate about animals and I want to do things that help the little animals. So I know that the process of helping animals might be painful, might be struggles, but I think it's worthwhile to do that. Like, I'm also passionate about using data to do good. Again, the process might not be easy. The process might be struggles, might be dealing with a lot of obstacles, but I'm passionate about the topic enough that I'm willing to put up with the pain and the struggles to trailblaze and push through the pain to solve the problem, because I'm passionate enough about the topic. So, like, you can answer the question in twofold. One is what you enjoy doing. Two is, what do you actually believe is a problem that's worth solving, despite how difficult it is? The third question is, what is people willing to pay me for? Well, this is a interesting one, because if you are if you're financially free today and you don't have a mortgage, you don't have a child to pay for tuition for, and you're completely financially free, you don't need to answer this question. You can take this part of the intersection out of the diagram, just answer the other three questions is good enough, because you don't need money. But most people are not in that position. Most people need money to pay for rent, pay for mortgage, pay for their kids. So we have to consider, what is people willing to pay us for? For instance, like, I'm very good at traveling and I'm very passionate and enjoy traveling, right? Like, but are there people who are willing to pay me to be a travel vlogger? I don't know. I haven't found out. Probably not, because I haven't done any travel vlogging. So that kind of things is important, to think about, not just what you're good at and what you're passionate about, but also what people are willing to pay you for, because you basically have, if not your family, but yourself to raise and pay for. The last but not least is the question, what does the world need? Now, some people who are not very purpose driven might not need this question. I need a reason to get out of bed every morning. I need a reason to think that when I get out of bed this morning, I'm doing something that making people's life easier, rather than making no difference whatsoever. What does the world need? Whether you're helping people, helping animals, helping environment, making the world a little bit better than yesterday, to me is really important. Again, depending on whether you're very purpose driven, this may or may not be a question you need to answer. If you can find a job or a role that help you to do all these four things, then that's your dream role. That is a role that you will enjoy doing, you're passionate about, you believe it's a topic or a problem that's worth solving, you're good at it, and people are willing to pay you decent amount of money for, and the world needs, so you're not gonna go out of a job anytime soon. And that's the job that you want to go for. And in a way, this should be company agnostic. So you find your role, and then you can go and find a company that's willing to hire you to do that role that fits your way of working, the kind of culture that you enjoy working in, and so on and so forth. But if you can find a role that answer those 4 questions, you found a role that suits you really well. Depending on your personal circumstances, you might answer 1 or 2 questions less versus this diagram. But if you can do this exercise, hopefully you find a little bit more clarity on what you should be doing with your career. Good luck, and comment if you have any questions. In the next video, we'll talk about how to think about moving roles. Thank you for watching Data Leaps. If you think the content is useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it.